So this is a brand that I'm not particularly familiar with, but the curiosity is still there. This is the Fossibot S3 Pro, a phone that I've had my eye on for a little while, but just waiting for it to drop here in the UK. It did. I picked it up on Amazon with a voucher, 180 quid. It's got a few cool features, but it isn't quite perfect. So let's just whip it out the box and see what it's about. Okay, so this is the new Fossibot S3 Pro. It's a phone that I've been eyeing up for quite a while actually, and just waiting for it to drop here in the UK, which it has. So definitely had to pick one up. Now it's available in black and green. So unsurprisingly, if you've seen videos on my channel before, you'll know I very rarely go for bog standard black colours. I usually go for the brighter colours. So that's what I did. So lifting the box. It's a bigger box than a traditional smartphone box. And there is the phone on top with a few specs. So it's a MediaTek G85 processor, one that's been around for a number of years now. A 6.67 inch Full HD Plus display, 120 Hz refresh rate, 6 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, 64 megapixel main camera, 8 megapixel selfie, 5000 mAh battery, under display fingerprint scanner, and Android 14. There's also 18 watt charging to go with that 5000 mAh battery. So we'll just lift the lid, put the phone to the side for a second and just check the other contents. So you get a power adapter, a USB-C to C cable, which is nice, bit of paperwork, and a protective case, which is nice as well. So we'll leave the case out and I'll just chuck the other bits to the side. We'll leave that there for a second. And here is the Fossibot S3 Pro. I won't completely rip the packet. In fact, no, I'm gonna have to. There we go, and I've turned it on by doing that as well. So there is the Fossibot S3 Pro. Really nice curved design. And that's a cool boot up screen as well. So as you can see, it's a very nice display, very little bezels around the outside. You know, slightly, could you say slightly bigger chin at the bottom, potentially. They all look pretty uniform. So we'll just go through the setup process. There's no clear pride screen protector, which you do usually find on budget phones. I'll just connect to the Wi-Fi. So the Wi-Fi's in. You get the option to copy your data across, which I'm not going to do at this precise moment. Checking info, and it should prompt to connect to your Google account. So then it asks you who will be using the device. I will be the primary user. I'm not giving this to my kid. And then it will just go through the rest of the setup. And you've just got to agree to the usual bits and bobs, Google's terms, etc. So we just go through all that. I'm not going to back up just yet. Set a pin. Set your fingerprint. I will do that just so we can see what the fingerprint sensor's like. So it's an in-display fingerprint scanner, not a on the side fingerprint scanner. So you've just got to tap and just move your thumbprint around just so it gets all areas, and then you've got to register the edges as well. It can sometimes be a little bit tedious doing it, especially if you're registering multiple fingerprints. There we go. I'm not going to add another just yet. I want to skip the face unlock for the moment. Use biometrics to make purchases, and then just the usual Google Assistant bits and bobs. I'm going to skip Google Pay, so it's nice to know you've got NFC on here as well. And then you can choose other bits that you want to change straight out of the box, but I'm not going to just yet. I'm going to see what it looks like when it's booted up. And there we go. So that's the Fossibot S3 Pro out of the box. No apps drawer out of the box, so we'll have a look and see if we can change that. Actually, I might do that now. Jumping into the settings, and it's sometimes in here. Let's see if I can search for it. No, not yet. Anyway, we'll have a look at that in a second. So overall, it looks like a really nice phone out of the box. The display is really nice, really vibrant. It's a 1080p display with a pixel density of 2400 by 1080, and it's a nice smooth 120 Hz refresh rate, I believe, but I will 100% just double check. Okay, so many apologies. This phone doesn't in fact have a 120 Hz refresh rate or a 90 Hz refresh rate. It is just a standard 60 Hz. Why would I even think that a phone that looked this nice with a nice display like that wouldn't have a high refresh rate display, but it doesn't actually have one, which is a real miss with this phone. 60 Hz, although it feels relatively smooth, 90 or 120 Hz would have been the icing on the cake, I think, in terms of this display. So that's just one area that Fossibot have really missed the mark with this phone, is putting just a 60 Hz refresh rate on. But nevertheless, let's go through the rest of the settings menu. You've got your usual Wi-Fi and Bluetooth settings, Bluetooth pairing, etc. And then you've got your apps and your notification settings, so you can really tweak with the individual settings for all your apps. Battery information, and you can select the battery percentage icon, whether you want it inside the battery or on the outside. Quite a few budget phones are actually missing the ability to have it outside of the battery icon itself. That's something that I really prefer, having it on the outside. Horizontal or vertical, that's something that's a little bit different. We'll keep it at horizontal for the moment. And then you can go into your storage. So you've got 128 gigs of built-in storage on the S3 Pro. As you can see, a considerable amount is taken up by the system, a little bit with the apps, and then of course a breakdown of all your other areas as well. Sound and vibration, you can tweak with the individual volumes. One thing that I have noticed that is typical on a budget phone is the vibration motor in this is a very typical budget feeling vibration motor. It's nothing special. That's something to bear in mind. And then display and brightness, you can do adaptive display, dark theme, you can switch that on and off if you want to. I will keep it on for the moment. And then you've got a few settings in there as well. Night light, color mode and temperature, it's set to vivid. I will definitely keep it on that. Make full use of that AMOLED display. Auto rotate screen, I'm going to switch on. Network speed, you can turn on and off. I'm definitely going to keep that off for now. Screensaver, lift to wake, I'm going to turn that on. And then you can set an always on display as well if you want to. There's a few extras there. I won't turn that on just yet. And then edge lighting, if you want to set that as well, just to light up when you get notifications, etc. A nice little feature on a budget phone, but it does increase battery usage as well, so something to bear in mind at the same time. Home settings, notification dots, folder thumbnail display, desktop mode, icon size, you can change all that. Status bar, search, easy launcher, and then layout lock as well. And then you can change your charging animation. There's a few different ones to choose from. That's not too bad. I feel like I've seen that one on another phone somewhere and I can't picture what it is. Maybe a Realme phone, potentially. But we'll go with that one. And then magazine unlock for your screensavers as well. Now, an extra feature on this phone, as well as the really nice display on the front, you actually get a very small display on the back, which you can customize and really tweak with as well, which I think is pretty cool. You can change to a compass, music, camera, clock. So you're quite limited as to what you can do, but I think it's quite a nice extra to add on to this phone. Does it excuse the fact that it has a 60 Hz refresh rate on the front? Personally, I'd rather prefer that than the display on the back. But overall, it's not too bad. Gives you your battery percentage. Swipe from that side. Swipe from the bottom to give you some notification information as well. So it's just very basic information, but overall it's quite a cool little feature. Let's just peel the sticker off as well. And then let's just compare the displays between the Fossibot S3 Pro and the Honor 200, which I will be dropping a video on soon as well. But as you can see, the Honor is a much smoother display. Let's jump into the settings of that one. And yeah, it's just a much smoother display on the Honor. It's a really big shame that this only comes with a 60 Hz refresh rate. Now let's just quickly jump into the cameras. So you get a 64 megapixel primary camera on the S3 Pro. Let me just find something that I can take a picture of. Let's try my little Lego man. So you've got a standard 1x, and then you've got a 2x crop as well. Let's just see how they've come out. So that's the regular, and that's the 2x. Doesn't look too bad. Got a few of the dust particles on there, so it shows I need to clean them off a little bit, but it just shows it's got a decent amount of detail on there. There's a film mode, which just gives you the option to basically just change your filters, which is quite nice. You get a portrait mode. So let's just have a look and see what the background blur is like, although he's not quite in focus. But the option is definitely there. Beauty mode, which I'm going to avoid like the plague. 64 megapixel mode. And then there's a few options here as well, including AI emoji, pro video, pro mode, macro, time lapse, etc. If I just go this way, there is a video mode. Let's see what it tops out at, if it will let me get to the settings, potentially. Normally there's a settings menu somewhere. Video quality, there we go. So full HD or HD or VGA, which I don't know why anyone would ever do that. So yeah, 1080p video, unsurprisingly really. And then there's also a night mode as well. And then if we flip around to the selfie camera, it's just an 8 megapixel selfie camera. Nothing to be too excited about, but let's just take a couple of samples. So look at that ugly mug. Not a huge amount of detail. I mean, there's a bit, it's not too bad to be fair. And then I did do a, other way, portrait mode as well. And the edge detection isn't too bad. If you've got a few stray hairs, it might struggle a little bit, but it's not that bad really. But yeah, overall, not a bad little phone. Of course, the MediaTek G85 processor that the phone comes with has been out for a number of years now, and it's built on a relatively old 12nm architecture. So it'll be interesting to see how that performs, although in the past I've not really had any major issues. Let's just jump into themes quickly, and then you can really customize your phone to how you want it to look. That looks cool. Let's download that and apply that. Yeah, that looks nice. Overall, it's a really nice phone. It's nice and lightweight, really nice display. They're missing a trick with that 60 Hz refresh rate. But apart from that, I don't think this is a bad phone at all. The fingerprint scanner. Okay. Not the most responsive. And it's certainly not the fastest. But let me know what you think of this S3 Pro. I bought it really just because I was really curious on how it would be, how it would look, and this rear display looks pretty cool as well. It's running Android 14. Will it get any updates? To be honest, your guess is as good as mine. Let me see if there's anything. There it is, navigation bar. Oh, never mind. No gestures. So we are all up to date. Android 14, January security patch. There we go. God, that's really deep in the settings. Let's get rid of those buttons on the bottom. And then you can just use your swipe gestures. Lovely jubbly. Right, so let me know in the comments what you think of this S3 Pro. I think it's a really nice phone, but of course it's not perfect. Chime down in the comments, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. I've got plenty more unboxings, and I'll see you in the next one.